In today's video, we will cover the diagnostic of the 1909 Class III DDR. This diagnostic is also used in attributing the 1910 reverse of 1909 Class III DDR discovered in March of 2023. Here we see the four reverses for the 1909 Lincoln wheat cent. Type 1 and Type 2 with the initials, and Type 1 and Type 2 without the initials. The difference from Type 1 to Type 2 are seen here. Type 1 with a filled N in United, and the bottom of the E is even with the M and the R. Type 2 shows the N is clean and the E is lowered. Type 1 is the version that Brenner submits early in 1909. The Type 2 is the version Barber creates to fix issues with Brenner's design. In using a 750x microscope, measurements can be taken of both reverses, showing Barber made a second version. Notice the added metal in the middle of the R and the A of Barber's version. I visited Michigan State University Center for Advanced Microscopy to explore microtomography using a Keonce 2 high-powered light microscope. It was my theory that creating a 3D rendering of the reverse would allow me to see differences between the Type 1 and the Type 2 reverse and any change that may have occurred. The cross-section occurs in the middle of the reverse image along the bottom of cent on both versions of the reverse. The center of the coin is where the lowest point in the coin is found, the apex of the convex shape of the die. The sets of images that follow show the results of those scans. In comparing these stacked images, several differences become apparent. The rim height of Type 2 is shorter than that of Type 1. The higher rims needed cutting down for the minor coinage to work properly in the slot machines where they were being recognized as nickels. The letters of Type 2 are of a higher relief than they are of Type 1. The radius of Type 2 is more nearly flat than that of Type 1. We know Barber had an issue with the reduction lathe creating a radius of 6 and wanted the reverse changed so the radius would be 25 like other minor coinage that had worked well in the presses in the past. I think the flatter radius of the surface is why so many dies were made during the first year. The flatter the radius, the harder the strike would be on the surface, reducing the life of the striking die. Utilizing the scans, measurements of the T in United were made to verify a Class 3 was present. All measurements were done in nanometers. The T in United was measured to verify that it is indeed a match to Type 2 hubbed over a Type 1. The program used to accomplish this was the VHX 6000 950F analyzer software. Measurement units were set to nanometers. Measurement 1 and Measurement 2 are that of Type 1 reverse, and the measurements 3 and 4 are that of Type 2 reverse. This is another piece of evidence used in determining this is a Class 3 double die reverse. It was determined that during the hubbing of a working die, the working hub from the second galvano was hubbed over an existing working die from the first galvano, only to be used in 1909, creating what later recognized as Class 3 hub doubling. This reverse became what we called the transitional reverse. It was easily identified by the partially filled in N of United, and the small t on top of the large T also in United. This transitional N is what was used to authenticate the 1910 reverse of 1909 recently discovered. Multiple working dies were created using this method. This process would have also been used to create the matte-proof working die that year, as they show the same characteristics. The Class 3 hubbing can also be seen in the T and S of states, and the F of, and the M of America. There are currently 40 new listings and counting of the 1909 Class III DDR. and it is the oldest recognized Class III since research and diagnostics began in February of 2023. Of the 40, there are 3 from San Francisco, 8 with initials, and 29 without the initials. This proves that the Class III was intentional in its creation to save old Brenner dies causing production issues. Images are taken from the Variety Vista site. These diagnostics are also used in verifying the 1910 reverse of 1909 Class III DDR. Dr. Wiles has also labeled this as a transition reverse because this die was to be a 1-year usage and should not have continued into preceding years. On March 19, 2023, a 1910 Lincoln wheat set with a reverse of a 1909 thought to be discontinued at the end of the 1909 production run was discovered. The discovery happened searching eBay for the possibility of a 1909 first reverse being accidentally used in 1910. There has always been a speculation of a reverse with ghost initials possibly being used in 1910. Even specimens with slight tooling have been sought after, but no third-party grading service has yet certified a single sample. The T and E in United on the reverse of the 1910 is like that of the 1909 Type 1 reverse. In addition to the Class III reverse, there are 4 notable die cracks to help identify this coin. The first die crack is located just above K9, the second at K6, and the third at K4 that enters the wheat stalk and curves towards K3. The obverse die crack is located at the bottom of the bust at K8. On May 1, 2023, Dr. Wiles attributed the 1910 as a new Variety Vista listing, 1910 VDDR/001, 1-R-3 Stage B EMDS transitional. As of this presentation, only 10 samples are known to exist. Copies of the book, The Rabbit Hole in the 1909 Lincoln Wheat Cent, are available on Amazon in hard copy, soft copy, and Kindle. I can also be contacted at the attached email at the bottom of this screen and followed on Improper Alloy Mixed Coins and Other Copper Errors on Facebook.